Right, hello. So I'll just go through some ideas that we could do while we're not going to track and stuff like that. And yeah, so I'll cover a few different aspects of training that we could look at. So speed, so how fast we're going, so it's all that maximum velocity type stuff. Pointer, there we go. So it's really important that you try and keep as much of this up as you can. It is easy to lose, and part of this will be maximum velocity, a little bit on acceleration stuff, starts a bit trickier. Endurance, so this is more speed endurance type stuff, so not necessarily going out for miles and miles. That falls into this sort of section over here that I've called aerobic. And then there's also the other aspect of other stuff you can be doing, so stuff you might be doing in the gym or whatever previously. Okay, so first thing, don't forget to warm up before any of the activities. The usual kinds of things that we're doing. If you're sort of stuck indoors, you could do skipping rope type stuff. That's good instead of jogging. Again, all the time if you're jogging, make sure that you're thinking about how well you're running. Skip A, so your regular sort of skips, and then you skip B's when you're kicking your leg out and pulling back on the floor in a sort of a down and back motion. So getting those, continuing with those is really good. These you can even do in place, so if you're stuck indoors for whatever reason, you can do these inside. Hops, yeah, I like doing hoppy sort of stuff, but also you could do them as like a balance or a coordination type thing, so you could set yourself a little zone up and then you sort of hopping from that square into that square, then into that square, and then back into that one, if that makes sense. Just so you're challenging yourself a little bit more than just physically, so getting your brain working and your body coordinating better. So leg swing, so these are mobility sorts of stuff. Leg swings, opening, closing the gate, so getting those hips, keeping those nice and mobile. Chicken shoes, scoops, whatever you want to call them. So with straight leg, toes up. Star jumps, pogos, again, getting your heart rate up as well as a little bit more dynamic. Sort of building the plyometric sort of stuff. Lunges you can do either walking or static, so stationary, so again indoors they're useful. Same with squats, so you can do them stationary, you can do them walking, or then you can build in the plyometric side of it and doing squat jumps. Also, I'll put some little circuit videos that you can have a look at, and you can use parts of these as part of the warm-up. So core is pretty good at doing some of the mobility and activation kind of stuff, so you include those as well. Okay, so speed work, like I said, it's really important you keep as much of this up as you can. In general terms, when we're working on speed, we want to be looking for about a minute recovery for every second of effort you do. So say we're doing a flying 30, so it might take you 4 seconds to do a 30 meters, then you want to be resting for 4 minutes. The idea is that we're working on our maximum velocity, so we're not getting tired within these. So flying for 30s are the best thing for doing maximum velocity, or 20s or 40s, whatever you want to do. Just don't do them too far. Can have acceleration, so go for a 3-point start. So if your surface is a road, these are all okay. I would, unless you've got a really good grass surface, I would stick with all these speed ones on roads. You won't go as fast as you do on the track, and it might feel weird, but you've got to try and keep your technique as good as you can. So yeah, anyway, 3-point starts to 30-40 meters, focus on the acceleration start, so staying low, driving down and back. Hill reps, so if you've got not too steep a hill, you just want to put a bit of extra challenge in there, 20, 30, maybe 40 meters, something like that. Again, allowing those knees to come up and then driving down and back. And resisted runs, so if it's windy, you could run into the wind, or if you've got a parachute, you could have that behind you. Starts, it's difficult to do these unless you've got a good surface, but you can work on reaction time. If you've got a little put an app on your phone, like we've used before, you can go for that. Okay, endurance, so this is the sort of the like the 150s and things like that. So these on the whole are going to be full recovery runs. So you're running pretty close to 100 but they're a longer distance, so you will be getting tired within these. So the fatigue will be coming on. If you go to further distances, you might want to pare back on your speed a little bit. But again, you've got to have quite a long recovery on these ones. So again, working on maybe a minute for every second that you're on there. Mentioned up here. Sorry, I just jumped straight into the middle. If you're on the roads, so you can use your lamppost as sort of a guide. They're sort of 30 or 40 meters apart, so you could do 2 or 3 lampposts worth of effort within these sorts of sessions. If you've got a hill in there, you might want to decrease that distance. Where's my little pointer gone? Oh, okay, it's over there. So yeah, you might want to decrease them. I better hurry up, I've only got 15 minutes of recording time on this. Then incomplete recovery, so these are ones where we're testing our ability to sort of withstand lactic building up and things like that. So these might be like split runs. So run out between 2 lampposts, slow down, turn around, and run straight back again. So you might only have 30 seconds or something like that between finishing one rep and going into the next. Then have a longer recovery between those. So then the aerobic ones, so these are the ones that are sort of easy in lots of ways, but can be a bit boring, but there's a couple of options you can do to make them a little bit more interesting. The idea of these is they're going to be less than 75% intensity. These will help your recovery, both between your sessions and also building this aerobic capacity. You can improve your ability to recover between efforts in your normal higher speed running. So say you should be able to talk whilst running with these. Okay, you might only just be able to talk, but you still can. So we could do things like 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, 60 seconds on, 60 seconds off, or you could do some variations of these or progress them. So say you start with 30-30, you could then go to 35-20, 5, something like that, and then 40-20s. That's a 2 there. Not very good to do within the mouse. So again, you could improve these or progress these as the weeks go by. 10 times 100 meters. So you could sort of imagine running the straights, walking the bends, a bit those sorts of sessions there. So you've only got 30-40 seconds between them. But again, you've got to remember that you're at these relatively low intensity levels. If you want to make it a bit more interesting, you could pyramid them. So start at 100 for the first rep, 200 for the next, 300 the next, then come back down again. And just do like a 50-meter walk between them, something like that. And then fartleks, so these are sort of random efforts within them. So you sort of relatively slow run, but then just pick the pace up every so often for almost random amounts, like between 2 lampposts or between a tree and a bush or something you spot, and just mess around with those ones. You could almost imagine it being on the track, when we do a little sort of a jog round in the caterpillar thing. So we go da 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 da, and then the person from the back runs to the front quickly. It's that kind of idea. So sustain low effort with faster bursts within it, but these faster bursts can be random. Physical prep. So this is a good opportunity to do a lot of this sort of stuff. So bodyweight exercises, so squats, press-ups, lunges, all those kind of things. Core exercises, so focusing on your trunk and your back. I've got a video with some exercises for these for you. Yoga, Pilates, I like these. I prefer yoga to Pilates, but Pilates tends to be a bit harder work. Yoga is a bit more stretchy in there as well, so that's why I like that one. Plyometric, these like your squats, jumps, your bounds, your jumps onto or off boxes, those kind of things. So if you've got somewhere you can do these, they're good. So even if it's steps outside or something like that. Flexibility, this is something else you can build in. So yoga is quite good for that, or you could do specific stretching routines if you prefer that. Mobility, so drills, but again, you'll build these within yoga and Pilates as you move from move to move. So choosing one of these that you like, it'll be good. And balance, it's a really, really good one to work on. So you could do some static balance things. I said yoga again, just to sort of tie them all together, but it could just be standing on one leg and progressing that to standing on something a bit wobbly like a cushion, then standing on with your eyes closed, just building that up. But what's perhaps better to be focusing on is the dynamic balance sort of stuff. So like hop sticks, so hop, 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 stationary, okay, and don't move, you stick to that foot to the floor. And you could do those with spins in there. So you could go from 2 to 1 foot, 1 to 2 foot. So you start with your feet. So these are terrible feet, so that's my shoe. Starting there. So then you could jump and turn and rotate. So then you're landing on 1 foot, pointing in the other direction. So then you could do 1 to 1 or 2 to 2, or then 180 or 360, 270 degrees or whatever. Maybe hopping, trying to land on a line without wobbling. These kind of things of this dynamic balance. Standing on one leg, reaching forward, picking something up on the floor, then doing the same with your eyes closed, all these kind of things. You could just start building in a bit of balancey stuff there. Right, so here's an example plan. If you send me your email, I can email this to you if you want, this whole PowerPoint thing. So I broke it down into 4 sessions a week. I've put speed, then aerobic, then endurance, just so that, because these speed sessions and endurance sessions, you perhaps don't want to be following each one on consecutive days. You want over 24 hours gap between these, so 48, 2 days basically. So if you did this on a Monday, you wouldn't do this one until a Wednesday. So I've said, well, we could do something in the morning and the afternoon, because what else are we going to be doing? So you could do core circuit in the morning, and then in the afternoon do some flying 20s, so 2 minutes recovery. So this little dash up there, that means minute, with a 20-meter run-in. So focus for these on being into your posture, basically tall with high knees, allowing these to come through. Then progressing that one, we could do something different rather, not necessarily progressions. Bodyweight axes or bands, stretch bands if you've got them, in the morning, and then you could do 8 40-meter runs, thinking about the acceleration. So coming from a 3-point start, again this means 5-minute recovery. So square brackets, I tend to put my recoveries in. Core circuit, then hill reps. So if you've got access to some hills, keep these sort of fairly short. Again, it's a good opportunity to focus on getting that lift higher, because you've got to lift your foot up because you run up a hill, and staying tall all the time. Just think about your posture. And then here, so this time it's flying 40s, or it could be flying 30s, but again, progressing on from that one. So it's just increasing what you did last time. I'd probably say that should be 30 really. I'll change that. Aerobic sessions. So morning one, you could do a stretch routine. I've been pretty lazy on these ones because I've not much imagination at the minute. But that stretch routine might be a yoga, it might be Pilates or something like that, or one that you make yourself. So here I've got 15 to 20, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. So double dashes of seconds. Again, 70 to 75%. Next time, 10 times 100 meters, approximately, doesn't have to be exact. But again, this is like a run the straights, walk the bend type session. And then that pyramid I mentioned earlier, and then a fartlek on this one. And then on the endurance day, so the endurance, you've got to think these are like the 100s, 120s, 150s, up to 200 meters at max. So 4 times 80 to 100 meters, big recoveries on these ones. So these end up being quite long sessions, and you know, we don't always do these as well as we could do at track because we only have an hour. So said work on some balance drills on that one in the morning, running drills in this one in the afternoon. If you've got some garden canes or something like those, you could use those almost like as hurdles in the garden if you've got some grass space. I'm running out of time, I've got 20 seconds left. Hill reps again, so you could these could be slightly less intensity, so you might not be going full whack. And these ones are longer sessions, these ones, longer reps. So yeah, slightly lower intensities there at 90%.